My name's Ben. I'm originally from Seattle area. I grew up playing pickleball in the 80s. We had courts, but we didn't think of anything like it was special. We just had like a basketball court and then we put a net up and we played pickleball. So I did play it in the 80s here and there. It's a vague, foggy memory. It wasn't like now where it's kind of like a fever and a whole industry, but I guess it was invented very close to Seattle and Bainbridge Island. So I guess that's probably why I played it as a kid. I'm living in Taiwan right now. My wife is Taiwanese, and so that's why I'm in this neck of the woods. Um, my background is in education. I have a master's degree in education, and before that, I was teaching PE, so PE education, and that's kind of how I kind of ran into pickleball. I started teaching pickleball in my PE classes, and I reached out to DUPR because I thought it sounded like fun. And I knew someone at DUPR, and they're like, "Well, why don't you try it out?" So then I put my entire PE class at this international school on DUPR just to give it a go, just to see how it worked. And then they would play each other. And then I would go into Taipei on the weekends and play with other people that were rated. Then I'd come back with my rating and play with them. And I kind of got to try it out like more than a year ago, just to kind of see how it like would work. And it worked out well and people were into it. And so that's kind of how I got my start into the world of Duper, just throwing it in, trying it out, and going, wow, this is fun. Just let's log our games and see what happens.
Mm. Okay.
Right. So right now the for BYC itself, we have two sites that do Duper. So we have one here at the main facility, which is in Doisakit, and we do another one down in World Club. So that's within near to the airport. So right now we have around almost 100 players who are logging in with their Duper score. So yeah, so one of the questions I think she mentioned today was a member asked us what that was like if you play Duper and you don't go into any competition, would that be, is there something is that legitimate or is why is it worth like just collecting your Duper?
Oh, absolutely. It's think of it like Strava or a running app.
Mhm.
Like I like to run, I like to record my runs even though I'm not a competitive runner because I like to see how I'm doing, right? And I feel like some sort of sense of progress when I do it. I see how fast, I see how far, I see if I'm improving or if I just like logging it and they give you like little virtual trophies. I feel like Duper is similar. So Duper has recreation games, tournaments, leagues, and then team format. So just logging the games that you play, it's just a nice way to keep track of who you played, when you played them, and like if you're progressing or not. Sometimes you're just kind of maintaining like I am right now. So there are many different ways you can log it. And your average pickleball player is not a tournament player. They're just a
Uh-huh.
fun social player, but they still kind of like to log their games just to see are they progressing? And it kind of just adds that extra little energy to the game of you're trying to do well because this is being recorded. Even though it's just on an app and it's just a number, you try that much harder because your rating's at stake, but so is your partner normally. So you don't want to disappoint them. And it just adds that little extra level of competition that you can't get unless you're actually at a tournament. But sometimes tournaments are a little bit annoying because you got to pay a bunch of money, wait a lot of time, it takes all day, where you can just log, you can do a club or a league game, get that same sort of feeling, goes to the rating, but without all that hustle of, without the, waiting and the payment. So.
But there's also one question that someone sent me earlier. It was that when playing their first Duper match or game, what type of players should they be playing with? Is there like I mean, like, is a preference there or something that we could do?
Yeah, ideally, when you are non-rated, you should try to place with someone who's already rated that's of a similar value. So if I'm a beginner, a super beginner, maybe, and there's someone that's a 2.5, put me into a game with a 2.5 so that my initial rating will be close to theirs. So you're always wanting to
Mm.
try to put someone in a game where someone has a similar rating that you kind of eyeball. That will
Uh,
help the rating start more accurately. Now, over time, if you can't do this, it's fine. The algorithm will figure it out, but people will stay more engaged if they come in at a closer rating to their actual skill level. Of course, if you are super advanced and you start with a beginner, the algorithm's just trying to figure out who's what. So think
uh,
it'll take a while for the algorithm to figure out that this person is a little bit higher, this person's a little bit lower. So in an ideal world, you'll try to have at least one. I mean, the best case scenario is three people of similar level playing with that fourth person who's non-rated.
okay, that's interesting. Yeah. I mean, there's a misconception is that should should I play against someone that I would know that I would win though, like in
It
Duper.
depends. I mean, should you? I mean, it's really about having fun, but I mean, if you're
Mm,
really concerned about your rating, um, you can beat people if they're very low and you're very high, but it doesn't change your rating that much because you're supposed to win. So let's say a four plays against a 2.5, they're supposed to crush them. You're going to move so
uh-huh.
infinitely small, it's not going to be very noticeable, right? But if they beat you, there's more to lose in that scenario.
Ah, I see, I see. Uh,
If I can ask a question kind of off that previous question, I've been playing Duper games with, let's say, about 8 people. Like we've gotten together at different times, but I would say the Duper matches, and it's not, 100 Duper matches, um, but it is majority, let's say, with 8 people. So my question is it advantageous or better that that my duper rating is, I guess, more accurate if I play a wider diversity of players rather than just playing the same 8, 12 people kind of thing?
Absolutely. So, in addition to the rating, we have a reliability rating, which is that green little circle or the red little circle next to your name. And that will go up more if you're playing people that are different as well as more reliable. So, if you're playing with the same amount of people, we're getting less information because we don't know, the algorithm can't tell how well you're progressing because it's a smaller ecosystem. So yeah, it is better to continue playing with other people versus just staying in that. And then your reliability will also go up. And that reliability score is used for people to see how accurate your rating is because you get a rating from day one, but you need to work on that reliability. And then tournament directors in order to ensure their tournament quality can say we're taking 3.5s to 4, and you have to have at least 60% reliability or 70%. They can tweak that number to ensure the quality. So it's just really up to the tournament director on that.
I
Thank you
have a
for that.
question, please. Um, if let's say there's a group of us, like Ricky was saying, and let's say there are four of us, and we decided to have a game, right? A casual game, but serious, because all of us wants to win, right? Obviously. Can those scores be then uploaded to the algorithm, or does it have to be somehow formalized or sanctioned?
Well, I think you're talking about two different things. So we have a recreation feature. So if you all have the app, but you're not part of a digital club, you can upload those scores. And that's under our recreation category. Recreation categories move your rating a lot less than a club category. And the different part about recreation categories, once you put it in, let's say you did it, every player you said that you played with has to verify it. So they have to open the app and they have to press verify. So that's a recreation match and that's how it works. And often, a lot of times, unless you have a strong gentleman's agreement, the losing team forgets to verify. So there's a common problem there. And that's why club matches sometimes are better because once you agree, then whoever puts it in for the club puts it in and nobody has to verify. And it's, done and dusted. You're good to go.
So we really have to depend on Sing to organize club DUPR matches. Therefore,
Yes.
we have to depend on BYC to organize it and to organize it with as many players as possible rather than just the same 6 or 8 of
Mm,
us.
mm, mm.
Yeah,
And to
that's the
that,
idea. It normally grows. It'll grow in time. It takes time. There's a segment of the pickleball world that likes it and a segment that doesn't. But the segment that likes it does grow because they like that little added intensity.
But I guess
yeah.
all these other clubs, they are aware of DUPR, aren't they? So, I mean, if Benjamin, if you are you sort of like the Asian representative for DUPR or something along those lines?
Yes, for Thailand, not particularly. I was, and then we got very busy, and so now I'm not in charge of Thailand. Occasionally, I can help with Thailand, but there's another representative that helps with Thailand right now, and he's based in Vietnam.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
he should be contacting all the clubs and saying, listen, guys, and maybe help to organize matches. Not so much as a tournament, but get the clubs in Thailand. I mean, in the different regions, the northern region, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, for example, Nan, and sort of like once a month we are going to have Dupra session,
Yeah,
for example.
that's
Because I
exactly.
mean, I'm very keen on getting a verified rating, just because, like you said earlier, I just would like to know where my standard is, and I'm the kind of person that always wants to try and get better at whatever I'm doing. But currently within Chiang Mai, BYC is one of the more active ones, I believe. But our pool of players is still relatively small. So, like Ricky is saying, we are just playing among ourselves all the time. And whilst we might win matches against each other, we don't really know where we are standing in the wider scheme of things. In the BYC scenario, I might be a 4.0, but in reality, I'm only a 2.9 when the whole field is opened up.
You can always pop down to Bangkok. I think there's a couple facilities down there that do round robins and mix it up with those guys.
So do they then have regular Dupra sessions then? That's exactly what I want to say.
I think
If
they do.
somehow they
Rise is pretty active.
Mm-mm. But
Yeah, so
we're trying to
just mix it
promote.
up. I think Pattaya has it as well. Phuket
Mhm.
has it as well. I mean, you can check it out. I can provide you with a list of different duper clubs, but they're doing like little fun round robins. That's what we do in Taipei. We just meet once a week. People who
Mm,
like it sign up. We go to our court. We have 4 courts for the 4 different
Mhm.
levels, and we mix it up, and it's fun. I know I only get 4 hours a week to play, so I get to go play, and I get to play with people at my own level, so I don't have to worry about, getting stuck with a beginner, right? I want to play a competitive match, and I love it. But it's
mm.
how pickleball's not as fun if you're playing with someone who they can just hit to and you don't win, right? So that's how Duper works. It kind of fixes that if you operate it correctly.
Right. Right.
Um,
So I don't feel so bad asking because
right.
I can sort of like say, well, it's your job to organize the sessions for us.
No, we help you organize the sessions.
Are
And we
you
can
okay?
set up your club and we can troubleshoot any problems because we've been doing this for a while. But personally, like everyone I work with at Duper, we like pickleball, so we want you to succeed because we know it brings people joy because it brought us joy. So we're not selling a product that we are ourselves don't, enjoy. So that
Mhm.
we like seeing it spread, we like seeing it grow, and we like seeing, that structure kind of develop. You know, that's what's in it for us. Money and just job satisfaction because we like it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, when I first heard about Dupra, I likened it to a golf handicap. That every golfer that is uh, even half serious wants to have a proper handicap. And in this case, we want to have a Dupra rating that is reliable, most importantly.
That's a
And the
great
way
point.
to
It's
do
it's
that
very similar
is
to a
by
golf handicap, and that's kind of how you can explain it to someone that doesn't really understand what a pickleball rating is if they don't, especially if they don't come from like a, you know, background with that involved.
So what's the is there sort of like an entry level rating? In golf, for example, it was 24 for men. Is there like a 2.5 is the minimum Dupra?
It's 2 to 8. The scale is 2 to 8. So
So
the
eight
two
will
is
be
the
like the
lowest you can
scratch
go.
golfer.
8 is the highest you can go. No one's an 8 because that means you won every game, right? And no one does that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, And so 2 is the lowest you can go. So that's the rating. So the rating that I think you're talking about is if 4 non-rated people come in, the algorithm has no information. So
Mm-hmm.
it's going to guess the average DUPR, which is 3.5. So if 4 people play, nobody knows each other, there's no information, and you win and we lose, maybe you come in at a 3.6 and I come in at a 3.4. But
Right.
that's what the average is. But there's no information, and that's why the reliability on that rating would also be low, very like 0, because they didn't learn anything except for you win, you lose. So you keep playing and to build that reliability, and the algorithm grows stronger with the more data.
I absolutely understand you, and I can see how important it is to be playing with a wider field of players rather than our regular BYC members, because we are just none of us have a reliable enough rating as it is, I believe.
Yeah, but you got to play with who you got to play with. So you will play with other people in the future. I thought that was going to happen to me too, but in your world, you're going to go on vacation, you're going to play this person, you're going to go to this tournament. It'll keep happening. And so don't worry about that, because as soon as it's a duper match, everyone does play a bit more serious, and that's kind of priceless.
I've got one. Does DUPR have competitors, or have you guys pretty much cornered the market now? And if
No,
there are competitors,
it's a great question. There are competitors. There's one in America, and then there's a lot of other people trying to make it happen in their country. But I don't want to give them airtime right now.
seems like one of those things that scale matters. Whoever gets big first, um, it has a big advantage.
Yes, that's right.
So if I go to the U.S. and tell people I'm a 3.2, even if um, even if I don't know which standard I'm talking about, is that 3.2 going to be comparable in different parts of the world, do you think?
I mean, when you say you're a 3.2, that means you're an intermediate. So people normally understand that. I think,
But it would be roughly comparable to the DUPR population anywhere, right?
yes, it is a
Like
standardized global thing.
Thailand,
Yeah.
the DUPR would be the same as a 3.2 in the U.S. in
Yeah,
DUPR.
it can vary. There are some pockets where like advanced players started, but yeah. But for the
Okay.
most part, it should be pretty standard. But it becomes more accurate as more people play. So the algorithm grows stronger as more people get on it.
Are the ratings comparable among other systems, competing systems, you think, between DUPR and XYZ?
XYZ has a different range. We're 2 to 8, and XYZ has a different
I see.
beginning and end. Yeah.
Okay.
A bit like the USGA golf rating system and the Royal St. Andrews handicap system. Slight difference in that. Yeah. So I think Sing, the task is up to you to set
Hmm.
up a regional DUPR session. I don't know, northern region, eastern region, Isan and all that,
Yes, yes.
central region, which will be Bangkok and
No, we'll
Pattaya.
actually, it's very that's
Unless DUPR wants, why don't you employ Sing as your official representative for Thailand?
no, I'm good. I love talking about this, but no, we've been reaching out to other clubs, and while I'm here in Vietnam right now, yeah, I've been talking to the guys at VPP, and like have something more regional, like people come visit their club and get to feel like a more diverse group of players too. So that's one thing. That's why I'm here is to find more partners that we could work with. I understand like the population of Duper itself in Thailand is still very small, or even pickleball players. Like I mentioned in the beginning, is like we're probably in the hundreds, but in countries next to us, they're in their thousands.
Hundreds of thousands, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands. Yeah. So that's why I think it's us, me and Maud, we have to be more proactive, get out there, make friends, and bring them in. Even like we have like a group of Singaporeans who are planning to come over to Chiang Mai and test it out and have them go on DUPR and play on our Flex League. But yeah, that's and that's why we're pushing it out a bit further. Like the time is not it's not just Hua Hin, so we're trying to look if we could bring in people from Pattaya or Bangkok to join into the Flex League itself too.
That's exciting.
How
Right.
big is pickleball in Taiwan, Ben?
Taiwan it's pretty big. We don't have the facilities. We just got one of our first official facilities on 228. I'm going there next Friday. But we play in sports centers and outdoor courts. We tape the kitchen on badminton lines. And but if you look at the global ratings, Taiwan has the best girls by far in Asia. And
Wow.
and they're amazing. So the boys are coming up there. They're doing okay, but like, we got one in the PPA. I don't know if you follow the Taiwanese girls, but they're high level. Now, when you are high level, you obviously move because iron sharpens iron, and there's not a lot of iron to sharpen yourself against here. But so I don't know if you know Chao Wong, she's in the PPA, and then we got Gao Pei Chun and a couple others that are very high level, and they'll be in Europe. They're moving to China. There's other ones in America, and they're basically kicking ass and taking names.
Wait, sorry, I just saw this note. A question basically. How many matches do you need to play for your rating to be valid for your DUPR rating?
Okay, so valid probably means reliable, and then
Oh,
there's a range, right? So when you have a digital club, in order to appear on that rankings list, you need at least 60% reliability. For the monthly duper list that we put out for the global rankings, you have to have 80% reliability. So to increase your reliability, it's a tricky question. If I could just
mm,
throw it out there, maybe 15 to 20 games, right? That's a
okay.
nice number to shoot for. But if you're playing 15 to 20 games against non-rated players, it's gonna be harder to get there because the algorithm's not learning anything. But if you're playing 10 games against people that have 100% reliability, your
Mhm.
reliability will go up quicker because we're learning more. So it all depends about who you're playing against and their reliability level.
There's another one. A 4.0 50 plus and a 4.0 19 plus. Do they practically have the same skills?
Yeah, that's the whole credo of Duper. Your number is your number. It doesn't matter what.
It's not
Ah,
age related.
So I know that we like to segment, like, this is the 50 plus division, this is, 19
hmm.
plus division. But according to Duper, your number is your number. So an 18-year-old who has a 4.0 has the same skill level as an 80-year-old with a 4.0.
About
And same
gender.
for genders as well.
Correct. It's just a number. That's the simplicity of it.
Hey, Um,
Interesting.
that's
There
it.
is talk about segmenting it later on, but we need more data. There's not enough data. If we started segmenting it, there'd be less data to kind of analyze. So right now, your number is your number, and it's very simple. But um, a lot of people want another number for the different categories, and it makes sense, and it's a great idea. We just need more data on that in order for that to actually be successful.
I liken it to again to golf, an 18 handicapper male and an 18 handicapper female. They are not the same skill level because the ladies tee off from a different tee. So it's a different game that they are playing. So you can't have a direct comparison as far as golf is concerned, where the handicap rating is concerned, right? But in the case of Dupra, it's different obviously because you're playing in the same court.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's not the same.
Mhm. For me, the main question would be how do we get more games, more DUPR
Mm, mm.
recognized games where we are in Chiang Mai? I mean, going
You
to
arrange
Bangkok,
them.
yeah, I would love
It's
to, but
you're in charge of your own destiny. You call people, you make the post, you make it fun. You people like the structure, I think, because I mean we all play a ton of open play, but we like the structure of like we're coming to a duper event, and I'm playing with this person, now I'm playing with this person. It's like mini tournament style, right? So they like that structure, so they kind of crave it, and then they like that the fact that it's being recorded. So use these to draw people in.
Can BYC take the lead, for example, by telling all clubs in Chiang Mai and surrounding areas, okay, we are going to have a DUPR session,
Yes.
on this particular day. It will be open play, I guess, and it will be a session that's lasting 4 hours because you don't know how many people will turn up, and you want to have, and everybody gets to play 5 games, but it's going to stretch over 4 hours, obviously. Something like that. It's and would BYC need some kind of approval from DUPR to organize such events?
You already have a digital club, so you have free reign to put together any sort of event you see fit. Now, it's better to get people coming together and like suss out their level before versus
Mhm.
just throwing them all together and just like you play with you and you play with you. So maybe like you have a beginner court, you have an intermediate court, and you have a
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah,
advanced
of
court.
course.
And
Mhm.
on those each court, at least you have one player of a similar level. So if you've got a 2.5, put them with the beginners. If you got a 3.5, put them with the intermediate court so that they can all initialize off the right person. And if you got a 4.0 or a little bit higher and you've got a bunch of killers, put them together so that they can come in at a more correct rating.
Thank you.
Right. So
Yeah.
maybe sort of like do three different courses at three different levels: beginner, intermediate, and advanced intermediate, so to say.
Sure.
And you the players can decide which group they want to go into, because initially when you start, let's say I'm a 3.2, if I feel that no, I should be able to play 4.0, I can always put myself in there. I'll just end up losing all my games, but that over time this will be then increase the reliability of my rating anyway, right?
Well, it's really up to the tournament director because there's always people that want to play up really high. So let's say you're a solid 3.2, but you play in the 4.0. You're going to make all those 4.0s lose the game, and you're going to feel bad because they're going to look at you with hate and because their rating's going down because
No, no.
you tried to jump up too high. So normally the tournament director, their job is to kind of eyeball the skill in the beginning, right?
Mhm.
And then let them go. Eventually the algorithm sorts everything out.
Yeah.
And that's why once your reliability gets higher, it becomes even better because you're actually put on a court with people that are reliable and you're going to have a good game. There shouldn't be a lot of pickles. There should be a very close game because everyone's very similar. There shouldn't be a hole that you're hitting to because you've been paired off correctly.
Mhm.
And if for some reason, if someone's rating is a little bit off, that'll be found out. And then you put those scores in and they go down. That's happened to me. I went up too quick once and then I got smacked down because I was too high. And then I was like, okay, regroup, start again. So I've seen it happen to many people as well.
Uh, so
Yeah, Steve is my regular partner. I want to do that. I want to, every time I partner him, I want to play badly so that we lose all the time so that his rating doesn't go up.
That's diabolical. I love it.
It's like evil and malicious. Just joking. Mhm.
yeah. So
Don't have a
yeah,
question about teams and doubles. How does the system handle doubles? I forget your specific question, but is there a rating for teams, and how does being in a team consistently affect your course of evolving through the skill levels in terms of
It,
ratings?
it takes your estimated value of should you win or should you not. So it takes both of your dupers into account and both of their dupers into account. And then you're going to change partners at some point. So the algorithm can see that.
everyone's good.
I'm good. Very
Okay.
informative, man. Thank you very much. Very
And no
informative.
worries. A lot of the answers I gave, there's a more polished and prettier version on YouTube. So you just go to Duper FAQs and there's our data scientist named Sarah and
Mhm.
there's another guy named Dave. There's it's like 25 minutes of commonly asked questions, and it's a way more polished version. If you would like to see that again, if I didn't answer your questions,
No.
Well. So there.
Thanks. Thank you very much, Kunben, for doing this for us and helping our members. I'm really sorry to cut this short, but thank you. And yeah, but anything just for the BYC members, just drop me a note. I'll just pass it along to Kunben and stuff.
Will do.
Yeah, you can pass on my WhatsApp as well. You can. I have people texting me all the time, so I can answer your questions if I did do it as well right here.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Ben. Much appreciate. Much
Yeah.
appreciate your time.
Thank you very much, Leha, for doing this for us. Okay. Everyone have a nice weekend, though. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Nice
take care.
evening.
Hey
Take
guys.
care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.